Hey guys, so this is practically another recording right here, or let's say video right here in respect to how we actually do scaling for flips. And I will be giving a detailed breakdown. That is a should I say step-by-step guide. Now, previously we actually did make a video on this particular concept, right? And how you can actually scale in the flips and every single thing attached, right? Well, we actually did get someone looking out the concept, right? So I decided to like just let it slide out. Now, this is practically the go chart, and I would actually break down a trade which we actually did see coming in just earlier this week, right? And we actually did flip a significant amount. That was practically a 30 to 4K, right? Now, irrespective of the fact the setup was practically not considered to be an A setup, but we actually did something out of it. Now, I at the same time, I will literally give a breakdown of a trade which we actually did take previously. That was last week, and we actually did succeed in flipping pretty well. Now, I want you all to understand that it's literally all easy, right? And if you do your homework, you're literally going to see how easy it is to achieve this. Now, when it comes to flipping, you should actually like choose which particular aspect you want to get involved in. If you actually want to like play the craziest part of it, that is by saying by going backwarding, that is by adding entries as price moves. It's literally a risky one, and at the same time it also has its own potential, right? Now I practically just play summing out the entire lot size and then pushing it in at a particular entry, right? So I don't literally like keep scaling in on every single thing like that. It's literally the risky one there. You get it? Now, you can actually like incorporate these particular confirmations, right? Now, as I did say, and as I've been sounding it, I literally don't just jump into the market with we just let's say we just price coming into our zone, right? We actually have things we look out for. Now, the first setup I'm literally going to be breaking down right now is going to be the presence of this buy setup which presented last week, right? Now we did see the presence of on the daily. So this was practically the daily time frame right now. So on the daily, we actually did see the presence of this bullish engulfing candle right here. Agreed? Since this is practically the presence of a bullish engulfing candle, what does this practically suggest? We look out for an SNL level nested right into this particular level. Okay. Now, as I did say earlier, the easiest confirmation you can actually make use of is practically the SNL level. Um, to understand if an SNL level is practically nested in a level or in a zone is scaling to the higher time frame. So in this case, if it's 1 hour SNL, you scale up to the 4 hour, we actually see the presence of if we actually do see the presence of a an engulfing candle, that is a good confirmation and that is a valid trade. We actually have 4 hour SNR. We scale up to the daily. We should actually see a daily engulfing candle. It's more like a confirmation setup, okay, or a confirmation for it. Now we actually do see the presence of this bullish engulfing candle, and on the 4 hour time frame, we actually do see the presence of a blind spot. Okay, so if we literally compare it to like we find this blind spot, this is where we actually do have the blind spot coming in price, and actually after we are done mapping this out, you literally want to like scale all the way to the downside because we can't take our entry from this point. We actually want to like scale all the way to the downside. Okay, now scaling down will practically require we scale all the way to the less time frame, or let's say we actually want to see a lower time frame SNL level nested right into this inside of this particular point. So I can literally go all the way to the 30 minutes to actually avoid wasting a lot of time, right? Now we see in this particular zone, we've actually gone all the way from this point straight to the QML nested right here. Okay, so we've actually like filtered pretty much every single noise in this particular area, right? So this. Okay, now even if I actually want to stop my refining process at this particular point, now a lot of people would actually want to like scale in their entries at this point. Okay, I'm not saying this out of let's say guesswork. I know what a lot of people can do, and I've seen them do this, right? So a lot of persons will actually want to scale in right here. Now I'm not saying this can't actually work in real time. This can literally work for you or for anybody who actually attempts it, right? But when it comes to flipping, you can imagine scaling in your entry or having your limits on the right hand, and you get this top out, and then boom, price expands all the way to the upside. So you're literally going to get cooked right there. Now, after having this, right, we actually want to scale down to look at for the presence of a supply with demand. Okay, so it's up to you. I'm giving this step-by-step process because I pretty much would come back to this. I assure you, I'll come back to this because this is literally all usable. Now, this is where the demand, the QML particle is, right? Where did we get a valid demand? This is a demand zone right here. Okay. Now, since we actually do have this demand in price, do I literally scaling on my entries right now? I literally want to be compared to take my entries because if you actually had your entry right here, bro, like you would have gotten this. So what's next do I look out for in price action? So pretty much the next step you're looking at for is exhaustion. Okay. Now I do have a lot of people asking what is exhaustion, and the mistake right here is a lot of you practically do mistake exhaustion points for just an overbought and oversold stuff, which is literally far from it. And I don't literally even advise that. I don't literally advise having that kind of mindset. Now, this is pretty much our entire buy zone. Now, the exhaustion point is not about oversold or overbought or whatever shit like that. Okay, you actually need to understand the dynamics of what is actually propelling price to that. Now, let's take a look at this. Now, exhaustion point is practically the formation of the end of a particular impulsive movement for the beginning of another impulsive movement. And when we actually look at this, we actually want to see three drive impulsive push to our level, right? This is the first one. This is the second. This is the third. Okay. Where did we actually get a gap coming in price? We did see price giving us a gap right here. Okay, this is literally the gap. We actually have the first gap here, second gap. So this is where we actually have our gap, right? Now this entails that we should see an opposite reaction, that is an equal reaction to this particular gap that is being created in price. So this is the gap. So we actually need to see impulsive push or an impulse all the way filling up this gap straight up, okay? And the movement should practically be an equal reaction of what price actually did. So if you actually look into this, with this third candle, you see the price gave an opposite reaction filling up this gap, right? And we actually did get a retracement. This right here, price did give an equal reaction filling up this gap, and then this right here, price did give almost an equal reaction filling up this gap. That is what an exhaustion point is. Okay. Now, after we are done getting our exhaustion point, we actually don't want to like just hop in immediately because you can literally get the shark fin confirmation at this point, and then price will still bust through down all the way to this, right? So we actually want to wait for the presence of a 30 minutes an engulfing candle. Okay, now price is to print an engulfing candle. What is the next step? Now, as I did say, if you're practically new to the community and you're not practically looking to flip, right? You can pretty much just make use of you can pretty much just make use of the engulfing candle to scaling, right? Make use of 50% of the engulfing candle. So this is the engulfing candle. 50% of it you're literally scaling in at this particular point, and then you're riding all the way to wherever your take profit is going to be, right? So this is it entry at this point, okay? And if you're practically not looking to use the flip aspect, okay, this is it. This is what you actually have right here, and then this is 250 pips to the next key level. That is practically the 1:5, okay? 1:5, yeah, 1:5, 1:4. So now that is your entry. If you're not looking to flip, right, you practically make use of the 50% of this particular candle to actually scale it. Now, when I'm talking about this, you're looking to like trade your problem and you're not looking to like go hard, then this is for you, right? Now, if you're looking to flip, if you're practically looking to flip, we actually do have the presence of this bullish engulfing candle. And as I did say earlier, over and over again and over again, we actually do have SNL levels inside an engulfing candle. So this is literally going to propel me to like scaling to use an SNL level. Now the easiest way to filter out this entire price action out, because if you look at hold on, because if you look at the 1 minute, right? Hopefully you can go further. Oh my god. I will have to like use the 3 minutes on this. Hopefully we go back. Now, if you scale in, if you check this, you actually do say we actually did get the presence of this QML. So if you actually did scaling based off the 1 minute entry, or if you actually did scaling just with a random QML, because of the fact we did get a 30 minutes level, you would have taken a loss, bro. Like I won't lie, you get me right. You would have taken a loss right here. But the easiest way to actually have a confirmation on this is that for every SNL level that is being formed, remember we actually do have an engulfing candle confirmation, right? That is perfect. Now, how do we go about this? How do we go about this? Now, at this particular point, this is where we actually want to see the presence of what? A 5 minutes engulfing candle. We actually want to see a 5 minutes engulfing candle at this particular point. And for every engulfing candle, or let's say we actually see on the 15 minutes, we get an engulfing candle, right? And if five prices to give us an engulfing candle on the 15 minutes, right? We actually want to like scale to the 1 minute to look out for an SNR level. Now, if you're scaling down to the 1 minute, you know for sure that on the higher time frame to the 1 minute, which is the 5 minutes, you should get an engulfing candle confirmation, right? That is the extra confirmation. So you actually want to go in a sequence of exhaustion, engulfing candle, and then 1 minute SNL level, and then 5 minutes confirmation, right? And then boom, you strike. Now, it sounds like a lot of rules, but bro, like you keep to the rules, you actually make profits, right? So, this literally happened all during Asian section. So, to me personally, I literally did take this trade. This was a trade I used in Philippine. I think I remember 30 USD to practically 2K or so. Yeah. 30 USD to 1005. Yeah, I think so. Now literally going to like scale to the 15 minutes. This was pre-London section open, right? Or practically pre-London. So I actually want you to see this. Now remember we are still inside this particular cycle. Now price actually came all the way to this point, right? And we actually want to see the presence of what? An external and bullish engulfing candle right here to play off, right? Now I don't understand why this particular price action is different, but I will literally try as much as possible to break it down. Now on the 1 minute, we can't really go further, but on the 1 minute, you actually did get an SNL level right here, which we did, actually did take buys of, right? Now if we actually do see the confirmation we are looking at for on the 1 minute, right? How do we actually scale in? That is literally the next step. Now, I'll advise you go through the trades that were sent in last week or within this week, right? Or let's say the trades which are using flipping so far and break this down and then follow the same rules to see what I did say, right? And I literally don't try as much as possible to like divert or add up any single thing to my concepts. It's literally just the same thing. So I literally go so far right here, but I would try as much as possible to like bring this to your understanding. Now, let's give this an example. Now, let's say we actually did get our SNL level at this particular point. Okay. Now, let's say we actually did get our SNL level at this particular point of the 1 minute, and then we actually did get our confirmation coming in, right? Which is the 5 minutes coming up. Now, how do we actually scale into this particular trade? Now, I personally would, as I did say earlier on in the previous video, price comes into this particular level, how do we actually confirm that this particular level is okay for our entry, right? Now, you actually want to like scale in with if you let's say you practically making use of 50 USD, okay, you actually have 50 USD. Now, how do you capitalize on this? Now, as I did say, we actually wait for a bullish candle closure, right? And with a bullish candle closure coming in, that is where we actually take our entry as per this is a bullish setup, right? And we're looking to see buys. So if we actually did get this hour's bullish candle closure, of course, this is of the 3 minutes, so you don't expect the peak range to be the same. Okay, now this is an 11 pip this is practically a 13 pips candle range, right? So how do I scale in? So if my entry is at this particular point, if my entry is particularly at this particular point, pretty much if I actually have a 50 USD, and then my risk is particularly going to be how many pips all the way to the downside. So occasionally, or let's say definitely with every single 1 minute setup, right, or entry, your your SL shouldn't exceed 15 pips. If you're looking to flip, it's always going to be within the 15 pips range to 20 pips range, right? So for the sake of this particular video, I'm practically going to use um a I'm practically going to use this 20 pips range, right? But right on the day of execution, when I actually did catch this particular setup, I only did use 10 pips stop, right? And the timing was also part of what contributed to it because we were literally looking at the early London section. So the 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 volatility was not literally that great. So I actually did have a 50 USD right now. So what would happen is at this particular point, I can literally execute a 0.20. Okay. Now remember, this is a 10 pips, right? This is a 20 pips. That's how. So on a 0.20, it means if price goes against me, how much am I losing? I'm literally going to be losing $40 right here. Okay. So let's say with spread included, we should actually have the entire account at risk, right? So $40, and we actually did get price moving all the way to our take profits. Now, this is literally for you who are practically looking to flip. Now, as I did say, you actually did get a perfect scenario more than this, just the price refused us going further. Now, with price going all the way to the target, which is usually 200 pips. For flips, bro, like I actually do go out or scale out at 200 pips, right? So, this right here, 25, 250 pips in profits, right? So 0.20 times 200. You practically have yourself 400 USD right here, okay? Now, I won't literally advise jumping in or adding all your position right here because we might actually get this deep retracement. But if your psychology permits you to add up, fine. You get me right. But for me personally, after the first push away from my entry, I look at for a 1 minute continuation to actually flow with price. So that is if I'm literally looking to like run a flip straight up, right? So that is add up to my entries. That is what I mean. So we actually do get what do we actually have right here? So if I actually have an entry running right here, I can literally add up with the presence of this SNL level right here. Okay, this is particular SNRC type 1. Okay, key level rally base rally at this particular point, rally base rally, and then boom. Okay, and if you actually switch to the higher time frame, which is the 15 minutes, we actually do see that we are particularly retesting an engulfing candle right here. Okay, so, and that is it. Another entry would have been added right here, and then this is it. Easy flip right here. Same thing if you apply the same scenario right here. Okay, this is key level refined from the daily time frame, and then we actually do get exhaustion points coming in right here, engulfing candle, price comes back up, 1 minute entry, and then boom, price expands all the way to the downside. And then we actually do what? Clear this particular gap. Okay, so price is always going to be clearing every single gap it presents in price. So this is pretty much how I flip. And I would have literally loved to like go through this breakdown on this particular long trade we actually did take, but I will leave this to you to actually do your homeworks on it. So this is easy, and then this is how you do it. And as I did say, if you're practically looking to like play conservative, you use 50% of the bullish engulfing candle or the bullish engulfing candle. And if you're practically looking to like play flips, then 15 minutes engulfing candle or 30 minutes engulfing candle, 1 minute SNL, 5 minutes engulfer. And that is the easiest confirmation so far. So that is it, guys. It's all easy. See you guys on the next slide.